Hello, love. I'm just a little worried because we need to skip ahead to the heart realm just a minute. That's level 4, and we're only on entering the beginning of level 2 for pleasuring the feminine. But without more heart information, I'm just concerned that you won't be able to take this journey with me fully. And part of it's about the partners we're with and whether or not they can take the journey, whether or not they're interested, and who we've chosen to relate with on the journey, and how we relate with ourselves, mainly how we relate with ourselves, because the heart is very different to follow than the mind. There's a bee here. Go. It's like the bee to honey, right? They've moved into my trailer. And the heart wants that flower. But the mind is afraid of the flower. It's afraid of the bee. It's gonna get stung. You know, the whole thing about love, the bee and the flower for the mind is, it's basically the mind is going to tamp down your journey unless you get a hold of what it means to think with your heart now. So thinking with your heart, oh my God, honey, that's like such a big deal to the feminine, that the woman needs a man who thinks with his heart, like who cries when he feels and shares things. Like that is so profound. Like that is so grand. That's so, a man who can cry with a woman, he just feels so courageous, you know, and vulnerable in this powerful way. He can access his feelings, you know, and he's dealing with them, and the upheaval when you really feel. But you know, part of why it's so difficult for the masculine to feel is because you've never really been taught about how feelings relate with your body. And once you get this is a really exciting thing. It's that you can tell how you're feeling by how your body is feeling. Okay? Feelings affect the body very clearly. The mind, on the other hand, doesn't know what to do, doesn't know which way to turn, what's right, what's wrong, how to be good person, how to be ethical. The mind will take you into an entire marriage that's wrong for you, telling you you're just being good, you know, because, well, they have the right job and they have the right look and we have the right things in common and we have friends and family in common. And, you know, the mind will take you down a road that is so disconnected from joy. In the end, you'll be completely lost. But you weren't trained as a little boy on how to feel, were you? Like they didn't. They just don't. I was teaching yoga to these little boys because they had all these ADD boys they gave me to teach them yoga. And I was like, guys, you just need to run before you can do yoga. I'd have them run around the building. And then we'd come back and I'd be like, how are you? What are you feeling? And they'd be like, well, my truck broke and my sandwich is a bad sandwich and my shoe, I can't tie my shoe. And I'd be like, well, how do you feel about that? And they wouldn't know what I was talking about. Well, are you angry that it's the wrong sandwich? Or are you afraid, you know, because your things are breaking? Or what do you, are you sad? And sad, I'm sad. There's a guidance that wasn't really given to you about feelings along the way. But the primary thing about it, honey, is that if you're feeling crummy around somebody, you'll feel it in your body. You'll feel anxious, or you'll feel nauseous, or you'll feel cold, or you'll feel uptight and contracted. And if the mind is having, is upset, if your feelings are bad, your body will feel it negatively. Your body will feel, like I said, headaches, stomach aches, and vice versa. If you're feeling really good around somebody, if you feel a lot of amazing, wonderful things that are going on, if your heart loves the experience, your body will feel relaxed. Your body will feel there'll be this bubbly energy. Your body will feel aroused. If this is person who's really in a romantic realm with you that's good, your body will naturally feel arousal. There'll be a flowing of energy flowing through your body. And this is how you can trust your heart. Now, this is what you've been taught the opposite. You're like, oh, that's the body and versus the heart. And I have to be a good man. I have to separate from my body's instincts and feel my heart, because they have told you that, and maybe it's been true, that the way you have been in your body, so disconnected from your feelings, you really have had a lot of sexual experiences that were not heart connected and that hurt people terribly. And you're like, I can't trust that. I can't trust that part of myself. But as you take the journey into feelings and they start to wake up, your passion starts to wake up. Whoa! Now it's like there's all these rushing feelings that are sensational. They're of the five senses. Wow, the five senses. And they're not divorced at all from the body. And so now you're like, well, now am I slipping backwards? Am I becoming that lust-filled guy who isn't heart connected? No, you're just at a higher plateau. Now, this is another fascinating thing that happens as you enter the journey of trusting the heart, right? I have heard myself saying to this wonderful man that I really fell for recently, and he was like trying to cut me out of his life. He's like scared of me in every way, I guess. And I heard myself saying to him, you can't hurt me at all. Like, it's just not possible. If you're afraid of all of your own tendencies being able to hurt me because you're still in process, or because you're, addicted to some things, don't worry, because you just can't hurt me the way that you're afraid you'll hurt me. And then I thought to myself, what hubris for me to say that I can't be hurt. Like, what was I thinking? Of course I can be hurt and devastated and, sad and lonely and all those things. But there was such a spontaneous truth about it, the way I was sharing. And then I realized, I know what I was saying. It's really true. It's that I used to be able to be broken, like, in a way, by people if it didn't work out in love, where I'd be so devastated. It would be years of not being able to function, of depression, of gaining 50 pounds, of, feeling unlovable. And what happened was, at that point, when I could be so smashed so easily in love, my life was revolving outside myself. My sense of self was all about outer things, what I did and didn't have, and how people saw me or didn't. Now, the shift happened where my orbit is my own heart. My orbit, I'm just not orbiting around other people and what happens to me or not. Whether or not I get what I need or what I want, it has nothing to do with my joy. My joy is my own responsibility. I take responsibility for it, and I choose it. This is my story. I want to be happy every day, even if I don't get what I want. I'm not going to be a pissy little baby who's like, I'm going to be all sad and miserable because the guy doesn't like me. Oh, come on, I like me. And so it makes me very free and able to love somebody else, because they are not responsible for my happiness. They're not responsible for my joy. They are just the delight that brings me into full body rushes of pleasure. Yeah, that's the thing that I want to feel. I want enlightenment through tantric sexuality. That's what I'm looking for. But the trouble is, no matter how many offers I get, nobody's offering love. Nobody's offering companionship or friendship or like deep, sacred spiritual marriage. They just think they can enter that tantric journey with me without even wanting to venture into the deeper story. Of course, none of us know if we can marry somebody right away or how long it'll